Today I'm making pasta carbonara with my favorite ingredient, that is bone marrow. This is gonna be a super simple recipe with only 4 ingredients, and I guarantee you it's gonna be one of the best pastas you have ever had. Unless of course if you don't like bone marrow, which would just be strange because you clicked the video. You always want to start with a salt bath because the bone marrow is what produces the blood. And there's nothing spooky about that, it's just that if you want to end up with a cleaner and better tasting final result, you want that salt bath to purify the bones. You could do this a day or 2 in advance, but at the very least you want to leave it overnight in the fridge. This by far is the most difficult step because waiting for bone marrow is a profound form of suffering. Once they're back out of the fridge, pat them very dry and give them a generous sprinkle of salt and pepper. Now for the carbonara, you either go with pancetta, which I did not have, or bacon, which I did have. Dice it all up into diced bacon. The bones go into the oven at 450 Fahrenheit. The amount of time usually depends on your oven and the bone, but you can expect about 15 to 20 minutes, and you'll know when they're ready when the bones are slightly browned and puffy. Throw your bacon into a cold pan. You want to start with a cold pan so that it can release more fat so it can become more crispy. Now watch carefully as I'm about to show you a revolutionary cooking method of which the world has been woefully ignorant. Spread out all the bacon bits, making sure everyone has their personal space, making sure everyone has a good time. Now boil your pot of water and get your spaghetti, which in my case is spaghetti number 15, which I don't know what it means, but it sounds fancy. We can see here that it says Cuisson de 12 à 14 minutes, which means cook for 12 to 14 minutes, so follow the instructions like a good citizen. Casually remember that you forgot to add salt, and I skipped the olive oil because I think it's a waste. There won't be any tomatoes in the sauce, but I have here some cherry tomatoes for some variety on the palate. You don't want anything in the pasta to overpower the delicate flavor of the bone marrow. Add some olive oil, salt and pepper, and then roast them next to the bones for about 10 minutes. Crack and whisk a couple eggs, and all this time making sure the bacon isn't burning. When the pasta is ready, add it to the pan of bacon with no pasta water needed. Remove it from the heat and pour in the raw eggs while stirring. If you need some more heat, you can use the residual heat from the stove. And finish it off with some freshly grated parmesan and cracked pepper. Scoop out one of the bone marrows and then mix it up into the carbonara. The amount of restraint I have right now to not just inhale this entire bowl of pasta is truly commendable. And finally we top it off with some more bone marrow and those little crunchy bacon bits from the pan. And here we have a beautiful and terribly delicious bone marrow carbonara. I highly recommend consuming this with lacrimosa playing in the background.